lovely people. What are we doing? We're back to setting up the music while I talk to you here. I think this is the start to video 2. Mostly done putting together video 1, episode 1, whatever you want to call it, for this series. Let me tell you, minimal editing on that thing. It's probably going to be like an hour long or something. But if you've watched it, you know what I was saying before. I'm just trying to make a terrarium, and the video is secondary to that. Let's get some context on where we're at here. I had boogered up some of the grooves with the router, and I had inlaid a few new pieces of walnut from the table skirt that I'm taking apart. And now what I've got to do is I've got to finish cleaning up the last one I did with that tile, and then finish routing the grooves in all the legs. Hopefully not screw up anymore, otherwise we're back to what we were doing last video. But once those grooves are routed, then I can start making the panels. And I've actually started making a couple of those. I've got, well, actually the 2 side panels, that's only all, there's only a couple. But then I'll make the top and the bottom, and then start working on the front vent area, which is going to be pretty complicated in my perspective. So that's going to be really fun. But yeah, that's what we're up to today. I mean, I've been at this for like a month, just with the woodworking probably, and then in total, like putting together the shed, researching, putting together all this shop, you know, like we've probably been at this like 4 months, maybe 4 months. I don't know. Not that it really matters, but just to give context where we're at, I've been putting a lot of time into this and don't have a whole lot to show for it yet, because I pretty much had to build a wood shop from scratch and build a router table and build the sled for my table saw and learn how to use everything. I'd never used a router before. I'd never really used a bench grinder, an oscillating tool, planes. I'd never used chisels before. Like, you know, I'm learning as I go here. So yeah, context for the day. Trying to make all these grooves nice. Trying to make what I screwed up earlier better. And then if I can get all that done in a timely manner, then I'm going to start building panels today. But sick news here. I've got 3 days in a row to work on this. I worked 4/10s this week, like I have the past few weeks at my regular 9 to 5. So I've got Friday off. So it's Friday. I'm planning to spend a good solid like 7 or 8 hours in here today working on this. And I'll do the same on Saturday, and I'll do the same on Sunday. So yeah, I don't know. We're going to see what we can get with like 24 straight hours of shed work here. I'm a slow worker, unfortunately, but we speed up as things get better. Anyway, this clip is already like 3.5 minutes long, so let's get going. What I'm doing right now is I am recutting that groove in the piece that I screwed up that then I had to inlay that tile into. And honestly, I'm really, really pleased with how this is coming along right now. I think it's gonna, I don't know, like I'm just really happy with it. I'm gonna show you all in a second once I finish cutting this groove. It looks nearly perfect. Not trying to brag, but like I think I did a pretty good job on that. So, I'm gonna cut this. I think the fence is still set up the correct distance. I'm stoked about this. This is awesome. I kind of feel like a real woodworker here for a second. Let me show you this. Okay, I'm making a little, I don't know, a little sanding block to clean it up a little bit more, just so you can see what it'll look like more as a final product. But guys, I'm pretty happy with this, to be honest. I didn't think it would turn out this well, and I thought it was going to turn out well. All right, let me not get too ahead of myself here, but this is pretty nice. I gotta say, making videos like this is just as fun as I remember when I'm not trying to be a darn perfectionist about things. This is great. Oh, also, if I am lucky enough to get comments on the first video, I'm making this video right now before I uploaded that first one. So up until this point, who knows, maybe by the end of this video I'll have uploaded the first one. But I haven't seen any of your comments yet, if you've commented. And if you have commented, thanks so much. I'm hoping I get some comments. Maybe some people from like way back in the day when I made videos for, what's up guys, Lake Reptiles here, that kind of stuff. Maybe some of y'all will comment. Maybe some of y'all will see this. Who knows? Anyway, I'm making this. I'll be back. Look at that. You remember what that looked like before? That's it right there. That's the inlay. You can kind of see it in that light right there. But look at that. It was terrible before. This worked so well. I'm quite pleased. I'm quite pleased. Cool. That's that, I guess. Man, that's a wrap. It worked wonderfully. Okay, so I still have to square these round edges with the chisel. And I got to do that to this one. So this one is done if I want to keep it as a piece that's not in the back. So one of these has to have 2 grooves cut in it to accept both of those wooden panels. The others only have to have 1 groove because they're only accepting the panel on one side and the other's glass, and I'm cutting a slot for the glass to slide through. So I have to figure out if I want to make either of those that back corner piece that's going to accept 2 pieces. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut 1 groove in all of them, all 3 of them, because I'm not going to have one in the front middle. But I'm going to cut 1 groove in all 3 of them and then decide which one I like the least, and then I'm going to put that one in the back so it gets seen just a little bit less. But I'm going to try to make all of them perfect. It's just whichever one I feel like is less perfect. I'm just going to go back there. Oh, the other inlay. Let me show you how that turned out. You can still see a bit of a seam on this one. I found that you see right there, and again, that middle part isn't cleaned up yet, but it will be covered, and also, like, you get what I'm saying. End grain to end grain tends to leave a line with the wood glue and sawdust filler technique that I'm doing. So what I may do, I may cut this out a 3rd time, because again, like, even if this is the back middle, that's unacceptable quality to me. So I'm nearly positive I'm going to cut that out and do it a 3rd time. But this time I'm going to put glue everywhere except that end grain to end grain butt. This is in no means, or by no means, going to impair the structure of it, but I'm just going to glue everywhere except that end grain butt up, and I'm trying to make that as just crisp, buttery perfect as I possibly can to hide that as much as possible, and then have the glue on all the parts where it doesn't really hinder the appearance as much. Yeah, so I am going to cut that out again. It's just, I'm not being a perfectionist with the video, but I am being a perfectionist with this project. So that'll be the 3rd cutout on that one. I can't give a finished piece that has something that I don't think is perfect on it. Okay, so I'll probably save that for later, because I'm really stoked about cutting out, man, I say stoked a lot. I'm really stoked about getting the slots cut on all of these so that I can kind of decide which one I want where. That'll actually feel like I'm, progressing. Yeah, so I'm going to get started cutting more slots. I just got interrupted, but for good reason. I had to go watch a set of pull-ups. My girlfriend is trying to get 10 pull-ups in a row by the end of the year, which is ambitious. She's got 5 days, say 10 days. What's today? Today's the 20th, so what, like 10 days? Yeah, that's ambitious. She's at 6 right now, but maybe by the end of January. Awesome to see. Awesome. She's progressing quick. She's progressing quite quick. She's lifted for a while, but hadn't done pull-ups, so she got some noob gains on the pull-ups going on. Pretty sick. I'm trying to get a set of 10 for 225 on bench by Christmas Day, which I think I can do. I got 8 a couple days ago. That's going to be fun. That's going to be fun. Lifting is awesome. Woodworking's cool. Lifting's cool. You should use your brain as well as your body. Ooh, that can be straightened out a little bit more. The whole thing's bent. Anyway, I'm getting distracted. I'm going to cut those grooves. That was only mostly nerve-wracking. I probably ought to get dust collection of some kind. Alright, let's see how this went. I have to take care of this before that. Come on, Spotify. Come on, Spotify. Okay. Alright, we're in business. We're in business. Big reveal, big reveal. You're going to see it at the same time I see it. Ooh, drywall square. Ooh, that is pretty. That is pretty. That is nice. I'd say I'm pretty joyful about that. Pretty joyful, chuffed, happy, pleased, satisfied, not just stoked. Interesting. So I cut the groove a little bit further away from the edge than it needed to be on purpose, because I can shave that down with the chisel and make sure it's, you know, really fine-tuned. You can see the difference there between, again, that lighting issue. This is 7.5 millimeters from the edge. This is probably more like 8.5 maybe. So I've got a little bit of shaving to do. I get nervous using the router table here, and you know, aside from those few slip-ups that we all saw earlier, everything's going well. I realized I just needed to clamp the fence down tighter so I could be confident in pushing on it more, and now it's like, yeah, it's safe. Unlike that first one that I actually thought was safe but wasn't. This is actually, like, I can't move that, even if I wanted to. So that's awesome. That's like 6.5. That's like, okay, interesting. Okay. I don't know if any of that made sense, but see how there is a difference right there to there? I thought that this was absolutely correct, because when I was chiseling out earlier, I don't know, I guess I mismeasured something, but this is actually slightly too deep into there. So this is correct. So that's cool because I don't have to recut the groove, and it's awesome that I decided to cut it with a little bit of extra play so that I could fix it later. So now it's accurate, but I will have to fix that, I guess. It's one fix after another with these things, guys. You can tell that this is a learning process for me. I gotta fix the lighting in here. I'm thinking about getting some of those big LED bulbs that screw into a regular light bulb, because it's just one light up there. But I don't know if you know the ones I'm talking about. They kind of look like a flower, like an upside down flower. They've got multiple panels of light that you can adjust in different directions. Yeah, because this light it's pretty bad. Should I keep cutting grooves or should I fix that? I'm gonna keep cutting grooves right now. I'm just happy with cutting grooves right now. This is fun. I'm having a joyful time. Yeah, I'm gonna keep cutting grooves. It is kind of annoying to have to go back and fix this stuff that I thought was good. I think I just got a little too happy about chiseling the other day. I was just having a blast chiseling. I was having a great time. Guess I was having too good of a time. I over chiseled. Okay, I gotta flip this over and feed it the opposite direction so that I can make the other side of this groove. I know a lot of people seem to be fairly dogmatic about making climb cuts versus the other kind of cut with the router. Don't crucify me for my terminology, but you know what I'm saying, like going with the feed of the bit versus against it. I'm having success both ways. One's just a little bit harder to control, so I have to be a little more mindful. Otherwise I have to like reset the whole fence, and that would just be a terrible time. So I'm flipping the wood instead of resetting the fence between passes. So far it's worked for me. So, you know, obviously I'm no teacher, but you could learn from me. I just realized I could feed it the other direction. Or the same direction. If I'm okay with plunging it directly into the wood, then I could do it the same feed direction. You know what I'm going to do, guys? You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to be smart about this. I'm going to test that on a piece of scrap and see if it's hard to control. Look at me. Look at me using my brain. Isn't that crazy? Okay, if I lose my fingers, I at least want to get it on camera. Where is my shim? My camera shim. So you know everything here is dedicated, or jerry-rigged when I have a dedicated camera shim. Turning you over, turning you over. Now you're upside down, but I'm going to fix that in post, guys. Fixing it in post. Okay, cool. You should be able to see if I lose my fingers. Here we go, here we go, here we go. I'm going to take this side because this is like exactly what's going on with my other piece right now, because this is my tester scrap I've been testing everything on. So this should give me a decent idea of if this is going to be hard to control, if it's going to yank my hands around or anything like that. So here we go. That wasn't bad at all. All 10. Check that out. There's the groove I plunged in there. If you remember before, it was just that one. Cool. All right. There might be someone who knows what I'm doing right now screaming at this video. However, I can't hear you, so I'm going to do that. I'm going for it. I'm going for it. You can tell I've learned none of this formally. Everything is through YouTube, which, you know, that probably says enough. All right, having the same thing on this one that I did with the last one, where this groove right here is further into the wood than the groove I just cut. Again, slot, groove, dado, stop dado, double stop dado, double blind dado, I don't know. I'm sorry, I'm fresh at this. Okay, so this is interesting. So yeah, exact same thing. I got a little carried away with the chiseling. Yeah, it's looking good. Now, this can be as perfect as I want it measurement-wise, but if it does not accept the piece that it has to slot into, obviously none of that matters. So where's my little sanding block? If we have a competition and the goal is losing something, I will crush you. I left it outside because I could smell the sweet aroma of volatile organic compounds penetrating my alveoli. Be right back. Okay. Doesn't smell cancerous anymore. Oh, and it's way too skinny to accept this. Okay. No wonder I made those slots deeper. I think I might actually have to do another pass on this. I think that might actually not be something I have to fix in terms of this slot. That slot right there, how it digs deeper in, I think that's actually correct. And this still needs another pass. What? How many minutes are we at? Dear Lord, this is an 11-minute segment. Boy, I'm chopping that up. The good news is I can film 11-minute segments and chop it up because I just got a 128 gigabyte lightning port USB drive in the mail, so I can offload stuff from the iPad or my phone and then keep using it. Because right now, you, right there, you only have 16 gigabytes in you. And half of that's taken up by like system files. They act like you get all 64. No, you do not get all 64. Fence has to come in a smidge. Did the word smidge or midge come first? Because a midge is a fly, but it's only like a smidge long. They're very small. All right, it's been a significant time jump. It's like 8 p.m. I've been at this for like 10 hours today. My iPad that I'm filming with ran out of storage space, and then a bunch of other stuff happened that caused me to have to offload like 40-ish gigs of photo and video off of my phone so I can use my phone to capture video. So maybe you'll get a little bit higher video quality now. But progress has been made. All of the leg corner pieces, they're functional now. The grooves are all squared off. They're all able to accept the side panels. And now I'm making the bottom piece and cutting out corners in that so it can slot into the corner pieces. But that is for tomorrow, Luke, to tell you about. It's late. I'm gonna head inside and go to bed. But yeah, lots of progress been made. I'll tell you about it tomorrow.